Hey, Mike Averill here. What will follow is going to be a fairly short chair yoga practice for non-structural chronic pain. Okay, and the premise here is fairly simple, but of course in practice things get complicated. So like I said, this will be a chair yoga sequence plus the idea of exposure work. Okay, so plus the idea that any discomfort in the body, maybe any pain, while we're doing this, how can we be open to those sensations? How can we fundamentally learn to accept those sensations? Okay, if this doesn't make sense, I welcome you to reach out to me and I will explain it. All right. Before we begin, a couple other things. I encourage you to have, obviously, a chair. Mine has mini armrests. A chair without armrests is best for chair yoga. Okay, and it's also worth saying, credit where credit is due. Most of what I'll be showing here is inspired by an organization called Accessible Yoga. Okay, great organization. Check them out. All right, so I encourage you to have a couple blankets or blocks, things to support yourself. And one thing I want to point out here before we get started at all is when you're doing chair yoga, one thing to pay attention to is the hips and the knees. Are they on the same height? Okay, and I'm not actually here to tell you whether they need to be on the same height, but one thing I want you to start to explore is how you can support yourself, okay? How you can feel best grounded to do these postures, and like I said, do the exposure work while we're doing it, all right? So a couple things to keep in mind. If you want hips higher than the knees, of course, you can put a blanket on your chair. And as you can see, my hips are elevated a little bit in reference to my knees. Okay, the opposite, if you want the opposite, and knees need to be a little bit higher depending on your anatomy, depending on your preference, like it goes on the ground, right? And then the knees are elevated. And in fact, I rolled one up, right? You can get even more elevation that way, okay? All right, so I'm gonna set these to the side. And I actually enjoy a little elevation to my knees. That feels good for me. What we're going to start out with, so we're going to actually begin now, okay? And what I should say is, I'm going to grab something over here. This practice will start with a Sun A modified for the chair, okay? If you study some lineages of yoga, there's something called a Sun A. It is a linkage breath to movement of postures. It's kind of like a flow, all right? So I will bring you through that, but for those of you that are visual, I have written down the 6 parts to this modified Sun A. So old school, I'm gonna hold it up to the camera and you can pause and write them down if you'd like, all right? So hopefully that's on it. Okay, and I will explain this here in a moment. All right. So if you're watching this, or intending to watch this multiple times, the practice is actually about to start. I'm done chatting, so you might even note where in the video you actually are at this point. So if you want to come back, you can just start at this point. Okay, so go ahead and get settled. We're going to start with the Sun A. Okay, I'm going to walk you through a little bit slower, and then we're going to do it multiple times here. Breath to movement. Okay, so the first posture will be an inhale. So you'll breathe in as you reach your arms up over your head. Okay, now what I encourage here is let this work for you. So you might not be able to get your arms right above your shoulders. You might need to bring them a little bit forward. You might need to open them out a little bit, right? Maybe you don't even get that high at all. What we're looking for here is sort of the essence of the movement. So maybe you even imagine doing it, the posture, okay? So inhale, the first one will be inhale, and you reach the arms up, however much they'll go. So big breath in, reach the arms up. And then in an exhale, we will do a forward fold, all right? Now forward fold, especially if we have a lot of kind of chronic conditions to work with, we're gonna go really, really slow. So what I encourage is hands come down to the legs, the upper legs, and as you breathe out, you come as far forward as feels nice, all right? So maybe it's only an inch or two. You exhale and forward fold to here. Maybe you forward fold and you come all the way down and your torso is resting on your thighs and you actually kind of let your head sort of soften down a little bit, all right? But whatever feels good, whatever kind of depth feels good, you're always tuning in, all right? So it's an exhale, forward fold. We're still on just the second part. Okay, now the inhale, make sure your hands are on your legs and arch your spine just a little bit. Okay, so this is almost like you're opening your heart. So it's an inhale, hands on the legs, arch the spine, and rise. Good. And it's an exhale, dome the spine. Exhale, dome the spine. So by dome the spine, I mean you're gonna separate the shoulder blades. We're gonna kind of contract this front chest part and broaden the back body. So the hands are still on the thighs, and you dome the spine and exhale. Okay. Then on an inhale, you straighten out your spine, reach the arms back up overhead. This is what we started with, right? Inhale, arms overhead. And then on an exhale, hands come to the heart space, just like this, okay? And again, all of these are modified to whatever works for wherever you are today, all right? I'm gonna move you through that again, and we're hopefully, ideally here, gonna get closer to one breath, one movement, so it moves a little bit faster. But please, 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 I know I'm a broken record, take care of yourself. Do what makes sense for you, okay? So arms are down by the side, nice long spine. Right? Ground your feet. Inhale, reach the arms up, however much they go up. Inhale. Exhale, put your hands on your thighs, fold forward as much as you would like. Good. Inhale, the hands are still on the thighs. Arch the spine, rise. Good. Exhale, dome the spine, broaden the back. Now inhale, straighten the spine, reach the arms up. And then on an exhale, your hands come to the heart. Good. I'm gonna keep moving us through. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands on the thighs, take the forward fold. Inhale, arch the spine, rise. Exhale, dome the spine. Inhale, straight spine, reach arms up. And then exhale, hands to the heart. Okay. Let's do it 2 more times, and that'll be 5 in total. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to the thighs, fold forward. Inhale, arch the spine, rise. Good, exhale, dome. Inhale, reach the arms up as you straighten the spine. And then exhale, hands to the heart. Good, and for my last one, I'm gonna put this on my thigh so you can kind of see what that's like. Inhale, reach the arms up. Good, exhale, hands to the thighs or maybe your support, fold. Inhale, arch spine, rise. Exhale, dome the spine. Inhale, straighten spine, arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay. Now, you might close your eyes here, and let's really tune into that idea of acceptance, that idea of exposure work. So, hands stay where they are, they're down by your side. Notice what's going on in your body. Notice the discomfort, if there is any. Acknowledge that when we experience discomfort, we have a choice. Our response falls along a spectrum of ignoring the discomfort, turning away from it. On the other end, we get lost in it, we over-identify. Right in the middle is acceptance. Right in the middle is our way out, is our freedom. Can you soften into acceptance of any discomfort you feel right now? You might even tell yourself, right? What do you know about your discomfort that means it's safe, that it's acceptance worthy? Right? Breathe and feel it. Right. And if you so choose, you might pause this video, repeat that Sun A flow we just did a few times, but begin to add in this idea of exposure, this idea of acceptance of whatever discomfort you feel as you do this Sun A. All right? What we'll move into next is just a couple held postures. A couple held postures, okay? All right, now I'm going to take you through 3 more different postures here, and these will be held, okay? And how it'll work is I'm going to show a couple different ways to do the posture before we actually kind of settle in and hold it. And when we do the hold, I will time it for us so we kind of stay even on each side, okay? And in particular during these holds, all about the exposure work, all about noticing, tuning in to any discomfort and softening the relationship with it, right? Fundamentally working towards finding acceptance. Now this is easy to talk about, right? It's challenging to do, so this is why we practice it. All right, so the first held shape is going to be a side bend. In this Sun A, we did forward and backward movement of the spine. Think about this next shape will be about moving the spine towards the right and the left, okay? So that plane of movement, all right? Fundamentally, the shape looks like this. So if you're gonna stay seated in the chair, you reach one arm up and bend to the opposite side, right? And then the bottom arm can be there for support, all right? Now, if this, for whatever reason, doesn't feel good, you can't stay in it a while, then there's a different way to do this, and let's use the chair, right? So I'm gonna take the chair, and I'm actually gonna turn it to the side, and then we come down to the ground. Knees feel comfortable to me, but please support yourself, whatever works, all right? Now I'm gonna take this rolled one, put it over here, and I find that that's an appropriate height for me to sort of rest my elbow, and then I can, again, reach one arm up and bend to this side, okay? So these are the kind of 2 ways to do the shape. I'm gonna start the time here in a moment, so whatever one works for you, I'm gonna go ahead and begin. Really think about lengthening the spine, and we're going to be here for a whole minute, all right? So even if you have sort of specific chronic pain you're working with, you might get to deal with different pain, just because a minute's a long time to be in this shape, okay? So keep reaching up, lengthening the spine, and imagine you're moving precisely to whatever direction, right or left, you were going on this side, okay? And then notice your discomfort, if there is any. Maybe you even tell yourself, this is okay. I, in fact, don't have to ignore this discomfort. I also don't have to get lost in how horrible it is, right? How can I accept it? 10 more seconds, 10 more seconds. Good, breathe, breathe. Okay, and I'm just going to sit down for a moment. I encourage you to do the same. And pause. Notice any sensations here. Can you find that stance of acceptance? Stance of maybe indifference? Stance of safety towards the discomfort? And then just do the reverse side. So whatever works for you. support. One arm reaches up, so let's go to the opposite side. One arm reaches up and you move the opposite direction. So for me, it's left arm reaching up, I'm moving towards the right. But doesn't matter what you're doing. Okay, I'm gonna start our time right now. And again, it's a minute. So make sure you feel supported here, right? We gotta feel supported so we can soften into that idea of acceptance. I'll repeat that. We gotta feel supported so we can soften into the idea of acceptance, okay? So notice any sensation you're feeling. In particular, you might notice your chronic pain, your chronic discomfort. Can you let it be okay? Can you let it be okay? This is easy to say, it's hard to do, I know. We just let go into the sensation. We tell ourselves, this sensation is okay. This sensation is okay. We're almost there, almost there. That's 1 minute. Again, take a moment to pause. Notice any sensation here as you pause. Breathe. Okay, I'm gonna put my chair back. And for this next shape, I'm actually gonna leave this on the chair. I'll show you why in a moment. Work into the hips, which often relates to the low back, okay? So I am sitting on the blanket here to elevate my hips to actually reduce the intensity of the shape I'm about to show you, okay? So if what I show you is not intense enough, you remove what you're seated on, okay? Pardon me. So go ahead, take one ankle, cross it up on top of the other knee, a little bit like you're gonna read a newspaper, right? Kind of that shape. Take a moment to kind of flex this lifted foot, this lifted ankle, and that kind of helps constrict and tighten up some of this musculature around the knee, which can help keep it safe, help keep it kind of contained. So a flex in this lifted foot is a good idea, okay? Now one thing you can also play with here is moving the foot on the ground further out to lower this ankle. Do you see how that happened there? And you lower this ankle, again, that's gonna reduce the intensity of what we're feeling here, which is to come, okay? So this feels pretty good to me. And then another thing you can do here is, I'm gonna reach down. If you want extra support, see, I can feel it right here underneath my thigh. Just scoot that right under, you know? Okay, and then all we do is settle in here, and you're gonna feel this ideally in kind of the glute hip area of the leg, pardon me, that is lifted. Okay, now one more little modification. If you want more intensity, then you remove all of this out, sit on your chair, check in. If you want even more than that, remove everything out and actually put something under this foot that's on the ground. Okay, that'll elevate everything up and you'll feel more intensity. All right, enough chatter. I'm gonna give us a minute here and we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, so settle in. Notice the sensation. I got us starting on a minute now. Okay, keep a flex in this lifted foot. Now you might think of this lifted leg, this inner thigh area. Think about it almost wrapping towards the sky. Okay, you can kind of almost externally rotate this lifted leg. Okay. Just breathe into it. Notice any discomfort. Ooh, can you be okay with it? Can you accept it? Can you accept it? Good. Just keep softening in, and maybe there's other sensations. Can you accept those? Can you remind yourself these sensations are safe? All right, and that's been about a minute. So go ahead, slowly kind of rise on out, and then I'm just gonna remove this one that's under my thigh here, set it down. And put the foot on the ground, and then maybe just kind of chuck in, rock right and left. And as you're doing that, same thing. What do you feel here? Can you be accepting of this? Okay, I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to do the same sort of setup. So again, I'm elevated, I'm sitting on a towel. My other leg's going to cross up and over on top of the knee. I'm tighter on this side. And flex this lifted foot and ankle immediately. Now, I definitely want support on this side, right? And see how I really kind of support myself here so I can soften in, I can let go, okay? And we're gonna start the time. Just keep a nice flex to the foot. And just breathe. And just breathe. Okay, you stay here. I'm gonna make sure I can keep seeing my clock. And as you're noticing sensation, see if you can keep accepting it. Keep accepting it. Okay, and same thing here. It's this inner thigh area of the lifted leg that wraps up, right? That's the external rotation that gets into this hip and this glute area. And I didn't mention it on the other side too, but if you want even more intensity, you think torso forward a little bit. Some of you may even lay over this lifted leg, okay? So yeah, just about 10 more seconds. About 10 more seconds on this minute. Breathe. Accept the discomfort. Accept the discomfort. On now. It's more than 10 seconds on. Okay, I'm gonna move my blanket, and again, a little bit of kind of movement side to side, just checking in with your pelvis and your hips, and then any other discomfort or sensation. And keep it soft, right? We're doing exposure work. We're trying not to distract away from discomfort. Nor are we trying to get lost into it, nor are we trying to get mad at it. Okay. So I'm gonna remove the blanket I'm sitting on. We're gonna do a twist, and then this practice will be over. All right? Now, put that down. Now, twists can be done all sorts of ways. I said armrests are unhelpful. Twists actually, armrests can be helpful. But I guess I'll cue it without the armrest since I encourage that. I feel more comfortable scooting forward in my chair a little bit, and it helps me grab the back of my chair a little bit better. You might as well, okay? So go ahead, lengthen up your spine. And again, if you need to change elevation of knees or hips relative with one another, use the blankets, okay? Use the blankets. Let's do a twist. Lengthen out the spine. Now go ahead, turn your torso towards the right. Your left hand might come to your right knee, and then the right hand might reach for the back of your chair. And see if you can grab something. So maybe you're not this rotated. Maybe it's just you're kind of grabbing this right leg. Find something, lengthen out your spine, let yourself feel support. And then just soft twisting. Use your arms for soft twisting. So it's 1 minute here. Okay, and notice the discomfort. Hopefully by now you're getting the drill. Right? This is not a practice sort of checking out. This is a practice in tuning into the discomfort. So that potentially after this practice you can move on with your day. Keep the twist going, notice any discomfort. Where can you soften, relax, accept? Great. Okay, final moments here. Soften. And by soften, I mean let go of tension, yeah? Okay, look forward first, unwind the neck, and then slowly place the hands on kind of the corresponding leg, right on right, left on left, and breathe in the center. And we accept all the sensations. Okay, lengthen out your spine. That's just the other direction. So for me, my right hand is going to come to my left knee. My left hand is going to reach behind for the back of my chair. Take a moment to lengthen. Take a moment to feel supported. Again, you may not be twisting this deep. It might just be both hands on this left leg. Whatever works, yeah? Lengthen, feel supported, twist. Look at my clock. Good. So keep the head twisting the direction you're going. If you're following me, I'm twisting to the left. I'm going to keep looking over, though, at my clock to try to time us appropriately. Can you accept the sensations? Can you notice what's going on with them? Right? You might imagine they're clouds floating on by. Can you just soften, let them be? They're going to be here. Can we be okay with it? You're doing great. Keep breathing, right? Make sure you're breathing. Alright, beautiful. So go ahead, unwind the neck first, look forward, then unwind the rest of your body. Place your hands right on right knee, left on left knee. Breathe, soften. Alright, that'll conclude our practice. I'm going to encourage you to kind of wind this out with a little meditative technique. And you keep doing this as long as you would like, but the video will end here soon. So eyes closed if they aren't already. And then we just spent a lot of time with awareness on the body. So instead, I'm going to encourage you, bring your awareness to the space around your body. Bring your awareness to the space around your head, the space around your torso, the space around your lower body. Allow this awareness to expand. Become aware of the room you're in. Become aware of the building you're in. Become aware of the street or the area. Maybe you're in a city. Where on this globe are you? Can you kind of expand awareness to start to take that in? You might even take it further into sort of the expansiveness of space. Allow your awareness to expand. Thank you for practicing.